Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I had a lot of people asking me for a part 2 of the photo review, so here we are, this is part 2. And I hope you enjoy the photos. I'm really mind blown again by the quality of what you guys send in, absolutely amazing. I also quickly wanted to mention that if you want a more in-depth review of your photos, I also offer one-to-one sessions. I will leave a link to my website down below. So without further ado, let's look at your guys' amazing photos. I love this rock here in the foreground and how the light is reflecting off the wet surface here. Looks brilliant. A very nice shutter speed selection here, Justin. Looks fabulous. I really like the color in this one, and the reason is I know Justin's style. His photos have that very punchy style. I like that a lot because, you know, you're developing your own style and you should absolutely stick to it if it's something that you enjoy doing. The only thing I would change in this photo is maybe the crop, like this cloud up here. I see that it adds a little bit of interest with that pink going on up there, but I think I'll probably still try and make it a 4x5 just to keep my eye more in the lower section of the photo with this awesome rock and, you know, the water swirling around it. And then this will be the before and after with the new crop. The next photo here is from Michael of this beautiful view of the Grand Canyon. I really like this scene with the rain here coming down. This adds a lot of drama, and then especially the light punching through from behind. I think I would probably change the crop of this one because this tree here in the foreground, as well as this gigantic dark rock on the left-hand side, are a little bit distracting to me. So if I try a 16:9 crop here, so I'll probably make it pretty tight here with the crop and remove this dark rock on the left-hand side completely. So I'm still left with a little bit of that tree here at the bottom right corner. I'll probably just quickly grab the lasso tool, zoom in the area, and just like quickly draw the lasso around the tree. And then go up to edit and content aware fill. So the tree will be completely gone in the photo. And then I think I would probably add a little bit more contrast to this side, just because the bottom left here is still pretty dark. And for that, I'll probably do the burn tool, just working on the shadows here with an exposure of 3% and brush in a little bit more contrast to this right-hand side. I think with this crop, you can still see the rain coming in. You can still see that action, but it's also a little bit more focus on these lower parts here with the beautiful rock formations. The before and after of Michael's Grand Canyon photo. Complete change of scenery here with this photo from Mark. I really like the blue colors in this one. I like how these rocks lead you into the house here by the lake. When I zoom in here, I can see that the rocks are a little bit soft here in certain areas. So maybe this will be an opportunity to use the focus stacking. Take another photo for just the foreground so the rocks are sharp, and then the house is also sharp. And then I think right now there's a lot going on in the photo with the reflection and with the rocks and with the house. So I'll probably try and simplify the composition a little bit. Like this whole area over here, there's not really like an impressive mountain. There's not another house or something that would be interesting. So this is why I would probably choose a square crop, something like this. And I think that this rock here in the bottom left acts as like an anchor. This is where you start looking at the photo. So you follow this rock here and then all these smaller rocks towards the house and then over to the mountain. And this right here would be the before and after. Next up are these two horses here playing. And I think that's a very candid moment that you captured here, Melanie. I think it would be a little bit more interesting with less of the sky in the photo here. So let's see what a different crop would do to this photo. A crop like this would eliminate almost all of the sky, which I don't think adds a lot to the photo. It will also eliminate part of this house here. I think it's just white and very prominent in the photo. So I'll probably choose something like this, which I think helps you concentrate more on just the horses and not the sky and the houses in the background. Yeah, beautiful photo, Melanie. And this will be the before and after. I really like the colors here of the sky and how well they go with the pebbles here or the sand. You know, if you would have stepped a little bit to the left here, Niall, you could add a little bit more of the front of this boat. Right now, everything is very concentrated to the left-hand side of the photo, and it almost looks like it's out of balance because of that. I don't know, you know, maybe this pier is like right here to the left of this boat, so you wouldn't even have a chance to go more to the left. I think I'd probably try it as a horizontal photo with, you know, let's imagine that this pier just continues here to the left-hand side. We could include all of this boat, front of the boat here in the photo too. And then if you step a little more to the left, I think it would help to balance out the photo, like what is left and what is right in your frame. But as I said, you know, maybe that wasn't even possible at all. Maybe there was another boat. Maybe the pier was like right here, so you couldn't even step to the left. Yeah, this looks like a weird before and after. But I think you see where I'm going here with this, Niall. I love everything about this photo. The light hitting the header here in the foreground, and it looks like you probably focus stacked this photo because it is extremely sharp from front to back, but not over sharpened, which I like a lot. This is an outstanding photo, Sebastian. There's absolutely nothing I would change with this one. So the next photo here of a male dancer. I love his expression in his face. As a professional dancer, you know that your facial expression is very important, and with his legs and his toes like pinpoints and everything, there's so much energy in this photo. His arms are perfectly balanced, but he still manages to keep a totally relaxed face. This is all thanks to the model, but then you, Greg, did also a great job of capturing this moment. And I especially like the color edit in this photo. I think it goes very well with the colors here of the clothes. So like the yellow line of this parking lot reflects in the clothing here, and also the whitish blue colors are the same as the clouds up here. So I think that is absolutely brilliant here in this one. If there is one little thing that I probably try and do different is your position. So right now he is a little bit to the left of this building here in the back. You know, with you just moving over 1 or 2 steps to your left, you could probably line up his whole body with the building here in the background. Absolutely amazing photo, Greg. Thank you for sending a portrait too. 2 great waterfalls here in this next photo. A very summery photo, which I like a lot, Alejandro. Right now, when I look at this photo, the first thing I see is this wide area here and this waterfall. And then my eye goes to the right here to this little spot of sunshine here coming through the trees over here. And then I'm kind of stuck here over at this wall. So I think I probably would try and crop out some of this area over here, just so that my eye, after looking at this bright area in the photo here with the waterfall, then turns to the left and actually sees all of that light here coming through behind the tree. So I'll probably try and go with a square crop. But I also want to keep this whole area in the photo and not eliminate it. So this way, your eye doesn't stop moving. So I'm constantly like looking around the photo. I'm following the waterfall here and then following this line, looking at all of that light over here. And I think this looks absolutely brilliant. It doesn't look man-made anymore because you can't see a lot of the wall. You can still see some of the wall like here in the middle of the photo and here on the left-hand side. But I don't think it's as prominent anymore as it was when this whole right area was in the photo. And here the before and after. Look at that sun star, isn't that amazing? That is very well timed here, Matt, that you could catch this sun star right here on top of this rock formation. I love the fall colors and how they add warmth to the photo. I would probably try and work a little bit with the blues here in this photo, so I will go into camera raw right here. So when I go into the color mixer in the U area and just try and make the blue a little bit more towards purple, and I think that makes the tone of the blue look a little bit more natural. Right now it is still, to my taste, it's a little bit oversaturated, so I'll go here to the saturation and bring the saturation down of the blue. Oh yeah, I like that blue now. I think that looks pretty good. And then you could probably also get rid of a little bit of the sky here. Yeah, just maybe eliminate a little bit more of that sky up here, because it doesn't really add more to the photo. I think all of the interest is here in the rock area, the sun star, and also here on the left and right hand side of the photo. But a little bit of the bottom and the top, I would probably just cut off. You probably planned this shot, which is great. I think planning is a lot of the success in landscape photography. And this is the before and after. Christopher sent in this beautiful photo of a group of trees. I really like the composition in this photo and how this one tree really stands out in front of the other ones here in the back. And the snow helps to add separation here between this tree that is closer to the camera and between the ones that are in the background. I love this, Christopher. This looks beautiful. Right now, the tree here in the foreground is the bark is a little bit too dark for my taste. So if I go into camera raw, I would probably try and bring up the blacks as well as the shadows just a little bit. And then I really like the space here on top of the tree. It adds a very minimalistic feel to the photo. This foreground here, however, I think I'll probably try and get rid of. So if I choose a 4x5 here, I can already get rid of a lot of that dirt there in the foreground. And then this is the before and after. Next one here that Michael sent in of this very, very spooky looking cabin in the woods. With the beautiful waterfall in the background here. I really like this line of the trees that goes from top left corner to bottom right corner. I think it looks great to have almost like two sides of the picture. So like diagonally split is the creepy, spooky house, and the pine trees, and top right is more of that rock and the waterfall. I think I'll probably try and accentuate that a little bit more with a tighter crop. So I'd probably leave the 2x3, but just cut it in a little bit more. Also to eliminate that the second waterfall up there in the middle of the photo. I don't think it adds a lot of interest to the photo. I like this one a lot. It reminds me of a postcard. So I'm not sure where this is, but you know, if it's like Canada, for example, and then you're right here like Canadian Rockies or something, I think this could be a very good postcard for something like this. And then this is the before and after. A beautiful winter scene that Tim sent in of this frozen lake and the swan. I like all the negative space here in the foreground. It helps with the mood of the photo. It goes very well, I think, to leave a lot of empty room here at the bottom. I like that the trees are a little out of focus here in the back. I'll probably try and crop it a little bit from the left and the right, just to get rid of the piers here. For example, to a 5x7. So I would still leave all of this negative space here in the foreground. Just get rid of the pier a little bit on the left and on the right. I think I'm going to try and look and see how this photo looks in black and white. I think it looks okay, but I think I want to try and stick with the color and just remove a tiny bit of the green tint here in the photo. I would like to see this photo with a little bit of a cooler color edit. The lake is frozen, so when I look at this, I want the viewer of this photo to shiver a little bit when they look at this photo because of all the ice. And this will be the before and after. Complete change of scenery with Bill's photo here from the Everglades. Or I think this is the Everglades. At least it looks like the Everglades. But all that warmth, the fog here in the mid-ground, I think this is brilliant. And I'm not sure if you added a little bit of a vignette, but I really like it in this case. The photo is sharp where it needs to be sharp and soft where it needs to be soft, like here in the grass in the foreground. Yeah, this is amazing. There is not a single thing that I would change about this photo, Bill. You did an awesome job with this one. Back to winter with this beautiful scene that Lee sent in. And what really stands out to me in this photo is this area over here. So where the warm light is reflecting in the water here, and the snow on the sides of the river, and the movement here in the water too. I really, really like this scene. Something that you could change in the field would be to place your camera a little bit lower so you can get this grass or little brush area lower in your frame, so it would actually cover some of this area over here. Because I think the right hand side of the photo is lacking interest, or let me rephrase, I think the left side is taking all the attention. So I think you need something on the right hand side here to balance that out. And I do like the swirls and the reflection over here, but I think it's not strong enough to counteract with all of that beautiful light to the left hand side. So I think with going lower and placing this frozen like grass and little bush here more in this area of the photo would help balance it out a little bit more. And then what you probably would have to do in this case is focus stacking, just because you're so close to this grass here. Maybe there was even a little bit of wind that made this grass move. So I think the focus stack would help here. I would probably also go a little bit lighter, just so that the edge here is not cut off right where the river meets the snow. Just give it a little bit more room here to the left. Yeah, I think just, like little steps to the left or to the right, or lower and higher with your tripod placement make a lot of a difference in your photo. I know I usually only talk about one photo, per submission, but I want to show you another photo that Lee sent me here that was really outstanding. There was nothing that I could really say about this photo, so I didn't choose it for the review, but I just wanted to say that this is absolutely beautiful. The rocks here, the shutter speed, the light, this is an absolutely outstanding photograph here, Lee. It looks like Richard was out here during a snowstorm. You can see all of the snow here coming down pretty hard. Like extra points, Richard, for going out in weather conditions like this. And I think this is what will, separate your work from other photographers, because you're the one going out, even though there is a snowstorm going on and you're probably miserable taking this photo. And I really like this scene of the winding river in this landscape, and how the snow makes everything disappear in the background and really makes you focus on this tree and look at all the beautiful branches and how they're covered in snow. There's two things that I think could also work with this photo. One of them is a different crop. I'm not sure, maybe this is another river coming in from the right hand side here, or maybe there is the end of the river here somewhere, and it would actually add a little beautiful bend or something. In either case, I would like to see a little bit more of the right hand side here. I think the tree is so prominent in the frame, it needs a little bit more room to breathe over on this right hand side. And then the other thing that I see is the green grass here. There's not a lot of green in the photo besides that. So I probably turn down the green to something like this, where it is not so prominent anymore. And then this is the before and after. We got some great conditions here in this next photo that Clay sent me. I love the color. I love the blue of the foreground too. I think it might help to make the layers here stand out a little bit more just by using the burn tool here, a little bit more contrast to the dark areas here. I'm just going over this very quickly here, but I think you will see what I mean and what I'm going for here. And then I think the 2x3 crop here works pretty good, but you can probably play around and use different crops too. I could also see this as a 2x1 with some of the sky cropped off, or as a square even. And this is the before and after, just very subtle here, a little bit more darkness to certain areas of the layers here. Welcome to Death Valley. A beautiful shot, Brendan. I love the texture in the foreground, and I love the last light that is hitting the tops here of these salt formations in foreground. I also like how you positioned your camera with your tripod facing a little bit down, so you can actually capture a lot of this background that is very, very interesting and adds a lot of texture and interesting things to look at in the photo. I love the sun star. I think it adds a lot of interest to the photo. There's two things that I see here with this photo. One of them is that the horizon doesn't look straight to me. It looks like it's a little bit of a curve. I'll try and fix this in Camera Raw. I'll go into the optics here first and try to fix it with the distortion. And I think this already does a pretty good job just by smooching in the edges here on all the sides. The other thing that I see, we obviously have to crop this photo again later, or we can also in geometry just zoom in. and just getting rid of the edges here that we created by removing the distortion. I think I would probably add a little bit more warmth to this photo. Right now it looks very mint greenish to me, and I think that warmth here in the foreground really makes the sun and the light here on the salt formations pop even more. It looks like maybe you used a polarizer, I'm not sure, or a grad filter, but I can see a very hard line. So I'll probably try and use a gradated filter here to not mess with the blue in the lower part of the photo. I will probably make it pretty blue to begin with, but then take out the saturation just to make it look more natural. And then going back into the general edits here, I'll probably try and play a little bit with the hue of the blue here. And this will be the before and after. Next, we have an amazing mountain range and beautiful reflection here. I love the reflection and where it is placed, and this line of trees here that gives it some separation between the mountain and the reflection here in the foreground. I think that looks great. There is a lot of color right now in this photo, and I think I'll probably try and tune that down just a little bit, bring down the saturation here a little bit. And then it looks like there's some areas that are completely black right now. When you look at the histogram here, and you click on this little like arrow head symbol, you can see all the dark areas. So it looks like there is some areas here in the middle part of the photo that are underexposed. So we can try and correct that with lifting the shadows. It looks like this is hard to correct for me on in this JPEG file. I'm sure it would be easier for you in the raw file to just bring up these darker parts of the photos a little bit. I think you could probably also get away with a lower aperture than f/22. I think you'll be fine with anything between 9 and 11 right here. I zoom in here quite a bit. It is very sharp here around the mountain edges, and there is some noise starting to come here in the clouds. I am almost certain this is because of the JPEG photo that I'm working on here. It could also be that the photo is a little bit over sharpened. Another beautiful winter scene here with the red rocks and some snow, which is always special to capture. If I go into camera raw here, I don't know why, but I can't see the aperture you took this photo in. The aperture you chose here made everything be in focus from front to back. And I think I would like to see this photo in a different aperture just to make this tree here stand out more towards the background. Right now the tree blends in a lot with the background. I would love to see a little bit more separation between the tree and then the foresty area up here. You could achieve this with, for example, a lower aperture. So when you're trying to photograph the tree at aperture 4.0 or 5.6, just to add a little bit more focus and emphasis just on the tree. Yeah, an aperture of around 5.6 is usually what I use when I photograph trees, just to give them more attention in the photo and make the viewer look at the tree and not look everything else around it, because that is a beautiful, nice little tree here that you found, Raymond. The next one here that Bree sent me, I really like the colors and I like the subtle composition in this one. What really stands out to me in this photo is these two rocks here and the crack, like that they're laying right on the crack here, but then also these two darker bushes. And I think all of the part like back here, it looks nice, but I think the attention should be here in the front. This is why I think a very tight crop of just the front like this would work pretty well with this photo. And right now it does look a little bit crooked to me. Even if it was straight, you know, I always go with what my gut tells me if it does look straight to me or not. A little bit more contrast, so I'll probably add a little bit more shadow here in the foreground. And now I think it is a very subtle but still strong photo that I really, really enjoy, Bree. And this is the before and after. The next one here that Pauline sent me shows some beautiful light here on this farmland, and I really like how you saw the light from the right hand side coming in and how you edited the photo to make the lighter areas really stand out. So where the light is hitting, you really accentuated the areas where the light is hitting. And also the cloud inversion back here adds even more of that fairy tale feel I have when I just look at this little hut here in the foreground. So I really like this photo. The path here leading in, the light hitting the tops of the trees here, the side light coming in, the cloud inversion, the mountains, yeah, it just makes me want to go to Romania. Absolutely amazing, Pauline. I love the atmosphere. I love the mood. So all the trees are leaning a little bit to the right here in this photo. And I think with the light coming from the left, that really helps to counteract with that leaning towards the right and your eye looking towards the right hand side. And the lighter part to the left just helps your eye not going all the way to the right, keeps the focus on the trees, and you don't really go to the edges of the photo at all. You also don't really look at the forest floor here, which looks beautiful, but you don't really look at it. I'm just stuck in all of this area right up here, and I think it is brilliant. I think the crop is brilliant in this one. I love the soft glow. I don't know if you added maybe a little Orton effect here to the photo. You got some absolutely amazing photos this winter, Mitch. Next up, we have this romantic scene from probably the Dolomites, I would say. I think I'll try and work with the color a little bit. Right now, it looks like the white balance is a little bit off on this one, so I will show you here very quick a neat way how you can correct that. You choose this eyedropper here, and then you drop that into something in the photo that should be completely white. So the snow should be completely white. And I already think this made a large difference. It's probably a little bit too blue, so I'll probably add just a little bit more warmth back in, probably to about here. So that the light is coming from the right hand side and is hitting the tops of the mountains here and this little village. This area here should be in complete shadow. And I choose a radial filter here and then make the shadows a little bit darker. Because I don't think this side of the hill adds interest to the photo, so I don't want the viewer to look at this side of the hill. I want them to look at the mountains, and I want them to look at the little village here. So I think it makes sense to have this area a little bit darker. And then I will probably use a graduated filter here on this hillside and probably add a little bit of purple to this area. That sounds funny right now, but I think it is a little bit too on the green side. And then what you could probably do is add in a little bit more contrast with the burn tool and brush in some of the areas here on these mountain peaks just to make them stand out and pop a little bit more. And I think this looks great. A beautiful scene here, Danny, that you captured. And this is the before and after. Next one here is a great looking fall scene here with the trees in full color. Looks absolutely beautiful. I think the sky up here doesn't add to the photo, so I think we can probably cut out some of that sky there. It looks just a touch too vibrant right now, so I'll try and see if I can take out just a little bit of the vibrance here. All in all, a wonderful scene, BP, and very nice photo that you took here. And this would be the before and after. Whoa, some next level photography here, Akini. This looks brilliant. I love the light. I love the composition. I love the reflection of the pine trees over here and how the mountain range kind of disappears in the clouds. When I zoom in here, it looks just a tiny bit over sharpened. So I think you can probably, you can get away with a little bit less sharpness even here. As far as I can tell, I think this is snow. So maybe, add a little bit more lights to this area with the dodge tool, just to make it stand out a little bit more. And then I think this area over here with the grass is something that I'm kind of stuck and that I'm looking at, and also the curve of the next mountain over here, and crop that out on the right hand side with changing the crop. And I don't use the 5x7 crop a lot, but I think it could be a good choice here for this one. Crop like this, you're looking at what is important in the photo. So all the light here on the peaks, the color, the reflection, the beautiful emerald green lake. And I think this is brilliant. This is an outstanding photo, Akini. You did an amazing job with that one. And this is the before and after. Another gorgeous lake reflection here. The fog here creeping over the lake. I like the sky, even though there's not a single cloud in the sky. I think the range of color looks very nice. When I concentrate on what I really like in this photo, and it is all of this fog creeping over the surface of the lake. So I think I want to concentrate on that and get rid of a lot of the rest in the photo that does not add more interest. So I think I would go with a very bold crop here, Jason. Stay with me. A 3x1 crop. And I do not want to cut off the reflection here on the left-hand side. So I make sure that all of that is in the photo. I will, however, cut off the top of the tree here on the right hand side, but I think it actually works well in this case, just to help balance out the photo and not make it so dominant on the right hand side. Right now I'm looking at what is the most interesting part of the photo, so I'm looking at all of that fog and the atmosphere. This is a print right here, Jason, and this is the before and after. Thanks again for going with me through all of these amazing photos, and a really special thank you to everybody who sent in a photo for me to review, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!